you, I am gonna be honest. Jay-Z's number one. I mean, I don't know if you can have him as.
Oh,
It's
that's how you're
hard.
going to start the show. That's how we're
This
coming right off the
listen.
bat.
I think he's number one.
I
Okay,
didn't expect you to
let's be
come in
real.
here hot with a tan. You're
Let's
clearly sunburning. Your skin is peeling.
Oh, I am peeling up here. I'm peeling on my nose. If they say brown people can't get a tan, they're lying. But they could definitely get sunburn.
Well, let me tell you right now, I feel like there's snakes in our midst. You're starting out the podcast just like this. Your snake skin is peeling to come anew. I don't know if I can
I'm
trust
fucking with you.
but
You realize I'm fucking with you. Jay-Z is
explain
not
to
number one.
no. Stay a shift now.
No, I'm not. You want me to tell you who's the number one rapper of all time? It's Weird Al Yankovic. That's how we're gonna start off the show.
Shut up. Wait, what? Legitimately, why is Jay-Z number one? Because that was not a bit. Why is Jay-Z number one?
I honestly do not have Jay-Z number one or Kanye. I think my number one of all time has to be. I mean, like everybody says, Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, they're one and two. But like, if I had to pick somebody who's been rapping from the beginning to end and like has had consistent hits, I think you have to put Nas, or you have to put at least Snoop Dogg, just because of their situations of how they've created music and where they've ended up. Jay-Z has always been great. I just think that 444 album wasn't as great as everybody's cracked up to be. And then like obviously we know Kanye's little outbursts and antics. I've never been a big Kanye West guy, if that makes sense. Like even with the Graduation, College Dropout, it's just those two. Like that's a great song. Like obviously great song. And obviously watch the Throne, great dual album, but I still think Drake.
It's the way those songs are composed for me, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the clear like masterpiece, the time, the effort, the like authenticity, like the authenticness behind it, the authenticity, if I can talk today, behind it. Not only that, like the way he was able to put samples, do something no one's ever done before. Those first three albums for me which was College Dropout, Late Registration, and then Graduation, are up there with me, at least in my top 10 albums of all time. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. It's great.
Anyway, about it. Jay-Z's definitely in my top 5. I think he gave us the blueprint. He gave the blueprint for the future. I think a lot of it got lost in translation. And I think a lot of it got lost in translation with trap rap. But again, this is not Shonen Tape, so we're gonna go ahead and lead that up to the Shonen Tape podcast. Check them out.
This is crazy that you brought up Shonen Tape. Please follow along their bracket as well for their anime stuff. I think it's the final.
Pokemon Lost. Why do we care?
It's the finals. Go check it out. We won't give a spoiler. Just follow them. We put it on the Face of the on Four Corners Radio. But this is Face of the Franchise. We do talk football here. I am the host, Michael the Pharaoh Shanuti, and always to my left, always to my front, he is the other host, Little Joe. Ooh, and he brings.
Can't see your eyes, by the way, buddy. Are you trying to hide the sunburn now?
I mean, honestly, the sunburn is absolutely insane. I thought I was stronger. I thought I was stronger than the sun.
I hope you didn't take the snake comment to heart too much. I feel like you're self-conscious now.
It's just when you think you're stronger than the sun, I think you just got to take the L. You know what I mean?
I make one sunburn comment, and you just dial back your whole favorite rapper,
you get sunburned in the middle of a snowstorm. I don't want to even hear it. All right, and that's not even a white joke. That's just a Joey joke. Because I've seen you sunburn. I am
pale, and I am as pale as it gets, and it comes appealing. But if you go ahead and then tell me Kanye West is a terrible rapper after I say he's in my top 5, I'm not going to back down on that opinion. I told you you're sunburned once, and you step back.
People need to realize when it comes to
Jay-Z's your favorite rapper. It's okay.
People need to come to terms with this. In music, it's how you like it. You want water, fine. You want Coca-Cola, fine. You want Pepsi, fine. Just don't be over here telling me that he's the best of all time and blah, 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 and why you are wrong for saying the things that you say. No, fuck you. You could suck my dick. Next, football. Let's go.
Well, it's just like we do every podcast, right? You have a beautiful, open-minded conversation without judgment that progresses the idea forward.
But
that's what we do on Face of the Franchise.
Always end with suck a dick from behind, because you need to suck a dick from behind.
Again, we've heard his fantasy, his ongoing fantasy developing so far in 2022. He wants to suck some dick from the back. Good for
David
you.
Monroe
I
Pink
hope
Eye
you
is
figure
my
your long
fantasy.
journey. I hope you can explain that to
Congratulations.
Sam. With that being said, let's go right into. I want to start off with USFL is returning. They came back from their 1983 to 1985 run after they lost. They won a suit. New back in '86, the
They
NFL
did win a
monopoly
suit.
law. It still wasn't enough to have them recover until roughly 40 years later. Here we are. Boy, howdy! I felt like I was watching Stonebridge Bulldog highlights from preseason. It was it was certainly football to a certain extent. It was there was passes thrown, there was kicks that were kicked, there were runs that managed, and there was tackles that were had. And USFL, I will say for all those underbetters, you are suckers. Like, sorry, like you had to know once the whole country decided they were on that theory, it's gonna go ahead and bust your bracket or bust your parlay. That's on you.
Bracket, yeah.
Bust your bracket, bust your parlay, bust whatever you must say. But yeah, dude, this was just it tried its best, and this is why spring football. I'm waiting. I'm excited for XFL. See what they bring to the table. Under the Rocks management. But I just don't think at this point it's gonna happen. I don't think that there's any other league that's going to be able to emerge because of the dominant. It doesn't matter what happens in the NFL. It doesn't matter what they do. It's so established at this point. It's like you're trying to basically overthrow the government. It's
in my opinion, dude, like people always want to have like something like the minor leagues or the G League. Everybody sees those things as like working for those sports. Personally, I think the reason why it works for those sports is because they have so many fucking games. Like you need to have a developmental league where you have players ready in the wings for when it happens. You need to have people ready to do what it needs to do. Football is such a niche, like in time where it's only 17 games. You have your playoffs, you have the Super Bowl. That's it. Done. You don't need to worry about anything else. You have the 53-man roster, you have your reserves, you have your practice squad players, free agents, whatever. I just think we're just beating a dead horse year after year with these
a new league of amateur football.
It's just ridiculous. Like we have one already. Like people forget the Canadian Football League is going on. Like there is still a Canadian Football League. They used to have the Europa football, whatever bullshit that Kurt Warner played in.
Like, yeah, I think it was literally just like the Euro League or something.
NFL Europe. NFL, it was just NFL Europe. And like everybody just needs to understand the development of football comes from one place, the NCAA. That's it. After that, it's sayonara. Like we have an international program that brings international players to the forefront now too, which works, and that's fine. Like shit like that is fine. Don't try to make spring football a thing because I think people have so much fatigue from their own teams. Like like the Steelers and the Commanders both suck dick. So it's like we're like tired and we just want a new season to start already so we can pretend like things are going to change. Like, and like Rams fans who won the Super Bowl are excited for next year to see if they repeat. And like everybody forgets because now everybody's worried about the NBA playoffs, the NCAA, our March Madness, fucking spring games are coming for college football, and you have hockey. Like, we do need a break from each sport once in a while, and football is one of them because we're just so invested in 17 games in the playoffs that it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Well, I just don't think it's going to work. I think that's
part of the. You're kind of hitting the nail on the head, and we'll move on right after this. It's like any addict with their addiction, and we as a country are addicted to football. And it's kind of what you're starting to allude to is we need something to scratch the itch. We do every single year, whether it's, just like with Coca-Cola, they're all sold out of Coca-Cola at the store. You go ahead and you get store brand Rolla or whatever the fuck it may be. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Same thing with when it's off season with pot, and all of a sudden you're getting a little shortage during the winter. You're going back to mints and you're doing the best you can and you're surviving through the winter. It's the same kind of deal. Yeah, we're making it through the long withdrawal period right now. We're gonna get there, ladies and gentlemen. College football is coming back soon. NFL's definitely coming back soon. We will get there. We'll make it through the struggle. I just think we continue. I mean, for me, it's the same thing every year. I turn when this new spring league comes about, or returning spring league in this case, kind of. I go ahead. I watched literally 5 minutes of it, and exactly like I said. Okay, saw a couple passes thrown. I saw a couple kickoffs attempted to be kicked. There's a couple new jazzy rules that try to catch your attention.
The drone for the field goal thing, like they
The
try these
3-point
gimmicks.
conversion attempt.
Oh my god, they do these gimmicks and they think it's gonna work. Like at
The
the same
first
time,
down ball that has the chip in it to determine the first down or not. How do they have the technology that works for that? First of all, that makes no sense.
It's the USFL, dog, and it's gonna be the XFL. Like if it's like sometimes I forget, like, and especially like these situations, like I know, and between the time of September and February, I am on the couch watching an NFL football game, whether it's a Thursday, a Monday, a Sunday, whatever day that they promote, and it's just like with the USFL, if I like, I'm like, shit, when is that again? Like, is that this Sunday? Shit, okay. Well, Miami, the Heat play the Hawks game 3. That's what I'm watching. Sorry, like, or the Boston Celtics and the Nets are playing game 5. I'm watching that. Like,
I rather watch fucking golf, and you know me, and long time listeners know me. I can't stand.
I watch the Masters. I watch the Masters over that shit. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna probably watch like different things. Like, I'm gonna watch an actual professional sport, not this bullshit that you try to ram down my throat.
I'll just be interested to see if USL lasts long enough to compete with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think they both go one season, and that's that. And then maybe we have another attempt a couple of years later at spring football, and we'll continue to have the cycle because we're all addicts. With that being said, speaking of being addicts and loving our entertainment and sucking it down in a straw in any way, it's given to us the Capital One matchup of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers on the same team this year against the young boys getting past the torch and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Do you give a fuck? There's already shit talk starting. Do you care at all? Every single year we do bring this up when these matches come up, but God, boy howdy, is it another thing that eventually just makes you want to blow your brains out. Nude.
I mean, honestly, it's just, like you said, a gimmick, whatever. I mean, everybody started loving these matches after it was the only thing to watch during the pandemic, so whatever. If they want to keep going, they can keep going. Whatever.
And in actual news that people should care about, we missed last week's show. Nude, way to fuck that up. With that being said, there was some news in the Flores lawsuit, as well as some other news we'll get to in a moment. But first, Steve Wilkes and Ray Horton added to the Flores lawsuit. I think that's great news. Continuing to see some support there. Obviously, now your coach. How are we feeling overall? What are you thinking? Is this going to allow it to push forward? Do you think there's anybody else that's going to end up joining the list? I know this is a topic that's been heavily debated over the last 2 weeks, and we're a little late to the bell here, but everyone does wait for what Face the Franchise has to say. What are you thinking, Nudie?
So I'm very happy that more coaches are coming to the forefront. We have talked about it. We are on Flores' side. The league has had a problem with, I guess you could say, embellishing the rule of the Rooney Rule, which was meant to help minority coaches get in the door. So I'm very happy more guys are stepping in and being added to the list, because I think it was Wilkes, if it wasn't like if I remember correctly, only had 1 year with the Cardinals and got cut and then got botched.
He spoke up originally too when the lawsuit first dropped, and now he's adding his name to the list. So I'm glad to see that.
So it's funny because if that was the case, Zach Taylor, who's the Super Bowl coach of the Bengals, would have gotten botched after his first year too, because I think they had a similar record. So if so facto, I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what happened. So.
And it's really, I mean, it'll lead me to my next topic as well, and it's just, is the power of the pendulum drum going to change? Is it going to actually tide over? History says no, and unfortunately, there's no signs that are encouraging us that way. I hope that Flores and company now has enough power to move this forward, but if any example is enough of it, likely will break all of our hearts, and the injustice of the NFL continues, and the monopoly that it is of course Dan Snyder. Now, there's a couple things going on with this. I said I wanted to bring this up because now Congress has officially come out and said that the ruling is, I believe it was the House of Representatives, said that the ruling is that what they did is unlawful and that they may owe money to other teams of the league. I am hoping, if everything goes according to plan, not only do we have enough power forward to go with this Flores lawsuit and they should win as they just deserve, but I'm hoping and praying, history aside, that same thing that Dan Snyder, this is finally enough where you owe your other one percenters and one percenters money in a certain extent, and big ticket holders money to a certain extent, that this is enough to finally push him out the fucking door.
Well, I mean, what is the biggest way to get a bunch of rich dudes to hate you? Mess with their money.
Exactly.
and that's what happened here. No, not sexual harassment.
We can ignore that
not
fine.
all this shit.
According to the NFL owners, that's okay.
Dollar, you're fucked. So and you know what's funny? It's just he said he embellished it also to show that the home crowd kept tickets away from away team. I mean, if you are not a Commander, Redskin, Washington football team, whatever you want to fucking call them, fan, you personally have not been to a game and say, oh, that's a home field advantage. Because I've been to those games. I swear to God, the one game I went to, that was the New Orleans fucking Saints. It was a Saints game.
Yep.
So the fact that he said he kept tickets away from away team didn't
Cowboys
really do
always
much.
have home field advantage against us, of course.
So congratulations. So.
Exactly. I mean, it was clear what exactly. If you go to those games, that's a great point. You go to those games, you see what's going on at FedEx. It's quite clear that there's a lot of things that were greatly embellished just from walking into that stadium. Not only that, I think you hit it perfectly. When you fuck with the almighty dollar for the evil, the most evil, that's usually when they boot you out the club. This is the first time, dude, where I am trepidatiously optimistic that change will happen. It's the first time in a long time because, like you said, and I couldn't agree more. Sexual harassment in the NFL, when you're an owner or in some suits a player, is okay, but fuck with the money. No. As time and history and human beings being human beings often go when money is involved. Greed conquers all. So hopefully, in this case, that will finally conquer out and rule out Dan Snyder. Fingers are crossed. I don't have any more. Again, continuing to wait and see and hope for the best with that. But some sad news, kind of go off topic here a little bit. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, for what he brought to the table, for what he did for the NFL community, what he did for the NCAA community. He was a guy, people can say whatever the fuck they want. Adam Scheffner, go to hell and die. But at the end,
Bryant, fuck you.
Yep. You guys can all go suck a dick from the back and die. It was just fucking disgusting.
Thank you for using it.
There you go. It is kind of nice to say. I kind of like it.
Yeah,
but no, he was clearly a teammate that came in with a positive spirit every single day, energized, radiated that energy. That's something that's impossible to teach. And most guys and most gals that play any sport or do anything for that matter, to come in every single day with the compassion, the spirit, the same energy, optimistic energy he came with. And he was a hell of a football player as well. So, yeah, I think I said some things, back at the time where, he definitely put us in some spots, but at the same time, that doesn't take away from anything that he brought to the league and what he did and who he was as a human being. So it truly broke my heart, man.
I'm very happy to see one thing this past weekend. I think it was CJ Stroud in their spring game. They had the DH on the field and they had DH on their helmets, but he wore the 7 jersey Haskins wore in Ohio State. Everybody remembers the video of him being a child from PG County, which is not too far away from here, going to Ohio State, saying he wanted to play there. He wanted to start for them. He did. He broke a lot of the Big Ten records, Ohio State records that led there for years. He became your quarterback. He was our quarterback. And a few times I can say there was a guy that affected both of us. I think Dwayne is one of those guys that affected both our teams.
Yeah.
I mean, dude was a 19, 20-year-old kid in D.C. He made mistakes. Sure. I mean, who doesn't? We made mistakes. The guy won games.
It's
for
just
you
when
guys.
you're in that spotlight, they get exemplified to a whole nother level. So
Another level. Yeah. I mean, like, everybody talked about it, but like, that's who he was. When he won that first game against the Lions, all he wanted to do was celebrate with the fans because he knew how much it meant to them. And he came to Pittsburgh knowing damn well he wasn't going to start because Ben was still there. But he came there knowing like Coach Tomlin had faith in him, Kevin Colbert had faith in him, Art Rooney had faith in him. He matured. All I heard was he was in the community. He loved Pittsburgh. He loved Washington. He loved his teammates. He was down in Florida working out with his teammates, knowing damn well that Mitch was going to be the starter. He didn't bitch about it. He congratulated Mitch when he signed with us. He introduced himself. There's the video of him with Najee. Najee was wearing like these, like he was wearing like Versace or Burberry or whatever to go work out, and he's like, man,
I was going to bring that. That was a great kind of summing up exactly who he was as a human being.
Cam Hayward talked about it. It's just like, dude, like
when Najee Harris pulls up, I didn't let you finish, but when Najee Harris pulls up, tell him what happened. No, go ahead, tell him. When Najee Harris pulls up,
he's like, oh my God, that's Najee Harris. Like, oh wow, you rich. Like, he was joking with him. Like, that's who he was. He was fun loving. He brought the energy. Ben even talked about it. Cam talked about it. When they were on the field, he would pick guys up when they dropped passes or they blew a coverage or they blew an assignment. He was the first one in, last one out type of mentality once he got to Pittsburgh. Yes, you could talk about his Washington days and what happened with the whole different things, but the dude finally grew up. He was 24 years of age, guys. Like I'm 28. You're the same age. We've made same mistakes back then and same mistakes now. Like, how can you say like there was a part of me, and there's still a part of me that believes that if Haskins had one shot, like, to beat out Mason, which I think he could have, and Mitch somehow, God forbid, got hurt or didn't do well, Dwayne could have been the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he might have done well. I mean, like, and it sucks because we'll never get that opportunity to understand or to see his true talent, because what we saw at Ohio State was special. What I saw in his combine, his pro day, was special. He had special talents. It always goes back to that situation where I always talk about, like, when you drop a special talent like him in a shitty situation, and you know this, and I forget, like, the Redskins at the time was a shitty situation. Like, no matter how you crux it up, but look at Trevor Lawrence. Like, right now, Trevor Lawrence is considered, like, kind of like people kind of called him a bust a little bit, but like now they're trying everything in their power to make him good. The Redskins never did that for Dwayne, and I feel bad because like he could have done that.
Here's the thing that I think gets lost in translation a lot nowadays. If you look back at, and I know the game changes, the game evolves, and we adapt, and now we're so used to quarterbacks coming in from that rookie season or sophomore season at the latest, and we expect them to be the next Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers right then and right now. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 4 years, 5 years, 5 years.
3 years. And it was like not on purpose. Like, it just happened. But like there was 2 years where he knew he was behind him. Tom Brady,
Drew Bledsoe, 2 years.
Ben was going to be behind. Ben was going to be behind Tommy Maddox. Like, Tommy Maddox was our starting quarterback, and a horrific hit on Tommy Maddox put Ben in there. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of people don't understand that some of these quarterbacks that end up starting, it happens by like, I don't want to say by magic, but like it happens. Like Ben wouldn't have started that entire season. We went 15-1, but I mean, like, I don't know.
I mean, by today's standards, Peyton Manning would have been gotten cut after his rookie year. It's insane the standards that we hold people to now, that we hold these quarterbacks to now. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
It's a win now mentality.
That position takes 3 to 5 years to develop minimum, and we're over here now expecting guys to go ahead and be in their sophomore rookie year. It's just not the way that position gets developed, period.
Asinine. It's just this whole "what have you done for me lately" culture, and it just sucks because I think Dwayne didn't benefit from that, obviously, as we can see. So, honestly, like I know prayers and thoughts go to the Haskins family, to both organizations, to the Washington and the Pittsburgh organizations. We lost a great. Everybody said it, a great teammate, and even people around the league like knew what a great guy he was. Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow sat behind him, and he talked about that time where that horrific hit against Washington, where he broke his literally his leg was destroyed. Dwayne was the first Washington player to come up and say, "You're gonna go get through this. You're gonna do this. You're gonna be all right." That's just the type of guy he is, and to diminish what he did because of whatever his success was, Adam Schefter and Gail Brandt, you both could suck a dick from behind. You can go. I literally when I saw both their tweets, I wanted to punch both of them in the fucking face. And it was just like a dude lost his life. It doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter his accomplishment off the field. Don't fucking bring it up. Just say, for me, I said you could have said Ohio State legend because he was. And say that shit. Or you could say former, or you could say Washington Commander and Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins has passed away. That's it. You don't have to say anything about that. You don't have to say anything falls short. Gil Bryant, I don't give a. He was a 4-year fucking senior, you idiot. He didn't need another year of college, you dumb fuck. You're an old hag who made America's team out of nothing. Sorry, you drafted fucking Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and traded for Deion Sanders. Oh, good job. You played Madden mode back in the fucking 80s and 90s, you dumb fucking moron.
Sorry, it was just bottom line. It's exactly like you're saying. It's a guy that had an impact on the game of football, had an impact on millions of people in a very positive way, and you can't take that away from him, period.
Right.
But we'll move on there, Nudie. But definitely rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. They don't make a lot like him anymore, unfortunately.
No.
With that being said, they are making a lot of people made men here still in the NFL. A couple quick hits, and then we'll kind of get to our debate here, Nudie.
Okay.
Some quick hits. Number one, Claus Campbell going to go ahead and have a 2-year extension worth $12.5 million. Good for him. Still playing football at 65. Brandon
what team
Cooks,
does he play for?
I believe he's on the Jags now. I got to look this up again.
Kidding? You're joking, right? You're joking, or are you being honest?
Is he on the Titans? He on the?
Are you joking right now? He's on the Ravens, and I was.
I know where he is.
Now you ruined the joke. Fuck you. All right, go ahead.
You mean he plays for the team that's going to go ahead and win the AFC North this year?
No, it's definitely going to be the Bengals. And if Deshaun, Hansy Watson plays, it's probably going to be them too. So.
Claus Campbell, though, shout out to Claus Campbell Jags. That made me, and Claus Campbell Cardinals Claus Campbell. Those both Claus Campbells were my favorite by far. Great times, but I'm glad that the Ravens have somebody to help out the best quarterback of all time now.
All right,
with that being, you don't want to talk about Claus a little bit more, buddy, and the Ravens?
Go next.
Next up, Brandon Cooks 2-year extension at $3.96 million. He's speaking of store brand. He's starting the USFL, moving right along. We have Denzel Ward, 5-year, $100.5 million contract, 71.25 guaranteed, making him the highest cornerback in NFL history. Nude, you're acting like I shouldn't even have this on the outline.
No, I'm just saying, he's top 5, sure, but is he should be the highest paid? No. That should go to Jalen Ramsey or Gerard Alexander. People in Green Bay should be pissed because Alexander is about to fucking bleed him out.
It's like we always forget about Tre'Davious White still to this day. I don't understand.
Tre'Davious White. No, I'm just saying. If we sat here and kept going, yes, but I'm just over here.
I would rather have J.C. Jackson right now. I'd rather have J.C. Jackson right now than Denzel Ward.
I concur. Continue.
I mean, he's on a terrible franchise. They need players.
I don't think you need me to tell you twice about Browns players. So.
All right, and now something I want to get into. I think we'll be on the same side here, but it is our official first of the offseason, due to Nude. offseason debate. Now, there's been a couple. Obviously the wide receiver market has exploded over the last couple of weeks. It is the hottest crypto of the month. It is, everybody is on it right now. The wide receiver market is fucking exploding. And if you did actually invest, which you can do, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, invest in, let's say, a Diggs or let's say a Devontae Adams, you're probably pretty happy right fucking now, because you're getting you're winning along with them. So we discussed the Devontae Adams extensions, we've discussed all those different trades, but now Diggs re-breaking the market, signs a 4-year, $104 million deal, $70 million guaranteed. Newt, AJ Brown, Scary Terry, and I believe, Debo Samuel are not participating in off-season programs whatsoever. They are not even showing their face on the facilities right now. They want their contracts redone. They are trying to take advantage of that market. We have often said on this show, before we dive into it, we have said that we believe that the rest of these positions need to catch up to the QB position. We understand that technically, yes, and I can't even say technically, the QB's position is the most important position on the field. However, there are some gameplay changing guys that demand that type of QB level salary, at least what you're going to pay, a mid-tier or, plug and play guy like a Tannehill. They deserve around that same size of contract. So with that being said, I will tell you, right, I'll go first on this one. You hold your brakes there, Nude. I agree with this completely.
No,
I think they get their bag, go do their thing. I think the wide receivers are a big market to the NFL, and they do a bunch of advertisements. They're half the reason why people watch. They are the splashy players. They fully deserve their bag because of the money they bring into the NFL. There's no arguing with that whatsoever. I think a lot of these players need to start being paid more to that level. I mean, I don't understand why we have, the lesser popular sports and a baseball and a football with the bigger contracts at an average per player.
Okay. So you agree with all this. You're agreeing with everybody getting the bag and everything like that.
1,000%. 1,000%.
And I agree too. Okay. Here's the deal. So to be honest, the only position I really do think got devalued a lot is the running back position. Really the only two positions I believe should be behind, let me say 3 positions behind quarterback is edge rusher, left tackle, or right tackle, depending on your quarterback's throwing arm, and wide receiver. So in the case of Devontae Adams, the reason why he got the bag is because he was consistent for 3 years. He is going to a team where you could say that they're in a win now kind of mentality. I mean, when you have Darren Waller, you extend Derek Carr, you give Max Crosby his due. You trade for different players to get on that defense, like a Chandler Jones. Like, you're ready to win now. Now, in the case of the Dolphins, you have Waddle, you have now Tyreek, you have all these different players. You need to now understand what Tua is. Is he good? Is he bad? What is he? Because now it's to shit or get off the pot, because the Bills are good. The Bills are really good. But there is a chance you could sneak up behind them and take that division. Patriots are right there as well with Mac Jones, and who knows what the Jets will be with Zach Wilson. You have a chance now to be up there with them.
You know who his mentor is, dog? What are you talking about? Stupid. That's the toughest division in the league, bro.
Now, if I'm the 49ers, if I am the Washington Commanders, if I am the Tennessee Titans, the Pittsburgh Steelers with Deontay Johnson, with all these different players, in Seattle with DK Metcalf, if you're not going to pay these wide receivers, you should trade them now, because you can clearly see that there's a huge market for them. You can rebuild your whole team with trading one good player, one good offensive player like that. DK has that value. Debo has that value. AJ has that value. If you feel like you cannot win with these players right now, go trade them, because you're going to have to break the bank.
Separate topic. What if you feel like your team won't know what to do with the pieces they get traded to them, and they still butcher it anyway? I mean, I feel like that's just one specific team's case that will go unnamed, but I don't feel good of us going ahead and, let's say, just for example, I'll use the Commanders as example. We trade Terry away. I don't think we know what to do correctly with all these pieces at this point.
You think about it, right? Look at the wide receivers who have come out the last couple of years, right? You had the wide receiver class of CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson and Chase Claypool and and all these players. you can find wide receivers in the rough. Like wide receivers, I don't want to say they grow on trees because obviously Devontae Adams doesn't grow on trees. Michael Thomas doesn't grow on trees. But you can find good wide receivers if you have good scouting.
Don't go say people get grow on trees now, noob. Don't get this podcast canceled once again.
Don't get us killed. But I'm just saying, like Cooper Kupp was found in the 3rd round. Deebo Samuel's 3rd round. DK 2nd round. Like you can find good wide receivers. If you have bigger holes than wide receivers and you have one that you could trade away to a team like, let's say the New York Jets sound like they're in a market for him, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Packers, who are now in the market for them. Like, go out there and get what you need to fix your team, because then you could build an offense and then get a wide receiver. Like everybody's talking about Burke and Dotson and
quick interruption, if you don't mind, just for a second, because here's the problem with our debate right now is I am talking from a player's perspective and you're talking from an owner's perspective. I mean, I have nothing wrong with doing that. If I'm running a team, I think that from the player's perspective, this is great. Like, this is exactly what they deserve.
Awesome. If I'm AJ Brown, I'm going like Tennessee, pay me $26 million a year. Like you're like, this is awesome. Get your back, because it's a passing league. Wide receivers are killing every number. Fucking Cooper Kupp almost had 2,000 yards. And Deebo Samuels is used by as a running back and a wide receiver. So get your money. Like, have insurance. It's like
from the owner's perspective, these players, like that edge rusher you talked about, that right tackle you talked about. Yes. From that perspective and from the football knowledge perspective, that is extremely important. I will also go from the advertising perspective, from the audience perspective, from the fans' perspective. There's something in Hollywood called a casting or a call sheet. It usually the lead, like let's say Leo is the first on that call sheet. Okay, second is going to go ahead and be Tom Hardy. I'm going to go with the Revenant casting sheet, and it's by most importance. To the owners, the wide receivers might be second on that casting call sheet, but to the fans, to the audience, to the marketers, that's what the wide receivers are posting their position in. Is it unfair to the running backs? Yes. Is it unfair to the quarterback, safeties, middle linebackers, edge rushers that make us literally hold for our breath and gasp every single Sunday like it's nothing else in the world brings us, right? But what you got to remember is, unfortunately, like it's exactly what the QBs did. Now the wide receivers are doing it. Hopefully these other positions catch up in time, because that's the argument, right? Because what happens when 2 or 3 of these positions, like now cornerback's going to be highly marketed, along with wide receiver and all this. So what happens, going up and up and up, but what happens then, you're going to have like a running back that starts to go down and down and down, and you have the linemen that start to go down and down and down. I think you start to kind of see that reverse.
There's only one
That's
position
my problem.
I see a position that people are going to use the Pittsburgh method, and I use the Pittsburgh method because it's starting to happen. You bring a running back in, a rookie running back, for 4 years, run him to the ground, throw him to the trash. That's what I feel like they're going to do with Najee. That's what I feel like a lot of teams are doing, because look at what happened with Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott got $90 million. CMC got his bag. Look at where they are now. CMC has been injured for the last 2 years, didn't finish the season. Zeke's contract is so commanding that they had to trade away Amari Cooper, and Tony Pollard looks a lot better than Zeke right now. So you have that option. Now, there's other cases. Derrick Henry. Yes, you pay Derrick Henry. Fine. Whatever. That's okay. My point is, if they're not Derrick Henry, if they're not Jonathan Taylor,
right,
you can't pay them. But
you can say individualized cases all day, right? Like, this guy got clearly, like, Derrick Henry, Mr. 2,000-yard man, clearly deserves to be paid.
1 and 2, yes, CMC deserved the when he got it. I'm just saying now they're holding kind of like, what the fuck happened? Like, what am I doing? Like, Jets paid Le'Veon when the Steelers did it, and look what happened. Was that Adam Gase's fault? Sure, whatever. But at the same time, like, would you want to pay Antonio Gibson right now top 5 money?
No, unfortunately not, because he deserves it. He deserves it to a certain extent, but I don't think he's at that top 5 position yet. I don't think he's proven himself as that type of running back. Would you want to play Najee that right now?
No, I know what we're going to do with Najee. I already can tell you what we're doing with Najee. The dude had 300-plus touches the last year. He's going to get burned out. He's going to get thrown to the trash, and we're going to get somebody else.
Because when you put it the way, think about Zeke, too. Like you're saying with Tony Pollard, same thing. These guys,
younger running backs.
The burn rate is much lower on a running back than it is a wide receiver, too.
Exactly. And now we're looking at wide receivers. Now you have all these different penalty calls. Now you have all these different situations where you can't hit a receiver across the line, like defenseless receivers and shit like that. They're lasting longer. You can see a guy in their 20, 28, 29 years of age doing well at like Devontae Adams and Michael. Like people forgot about Michael Thomas. Don't forget Michael Thomas is going to come back and probably do well, even though Jameis is at quarterback. I'm with the players. Get your bag. Like, get your bag. Command the money. Do what you need to do. And if I'm an owner, I'm paying them right now if I believe that this guy is going to stay on my team. Because if you fucking wait like the Titans did, like the 49ers did, like the Seahawks did, guess what? You're shit out of luck and you have to pay him more than Tyreek Hill, probably a little less than Devontae Adams. Because when Cooper Kupp gets his contract, everything's going to get burst open. Justin Jefferson's going to come up. Jamar Chase is coming up. Who knows what these next
Terry, Debo, you name it. I mean,
you name all of them. Like wide receiver. That's what I'm saying. If you feel like this wide receiver is not essential right now to your team, trade him the fuck away and let somebody else pay him.
I certainly think that's a good point, and get where you can to get the pieces you can put together. I think it's good for the players to get in the bags. From the owner's perspective, that is definitely the move you'd want to make. If he's not crucial, get him out. If he is, pay him now because you're right. It's going to be quarterback level contracts. You're going to start to have that $350, $400 million contracts in the next 5 to 7 years. Just wait.
Exactly. So that's my opinion. Well, we'll see what happens because I think both our teams are in that boat with Deontay Johnson and Terry. I don't think we're trading Deontay anytime soon. I think we have the money to pay him, but I think we have somebody else to worry about first, and that's Minka. So that's just from the Steelers' perspective. Honestly, if I'm Seattle and you're in a position where it's Drew Lock and you don't see anything's coming your way, I think trading DK and getting a lot more picks with what you trade for Russell could help you in the long run, in my opinion. And I think the same for Debo, but I don't think they're trading Debo. AJ Brown, insider Kareem told me they're in talks. They're going to get a contract done. I think that tweet was towards the fans because the fans were being a little shitty towards him. So
okay. I was gonna ask what Titans insider Kareem thought. Glad to hear that.
He took from what Kareem told me, the whole taking Tennessee out of his bio was just him being pissed at the fans because the fans were being a little jackass-ish. But that's a new word. But he did say like that Vrabel, Greg Robinson, they're on it. So I don't see AJ moving. I could see Debo or DK moving, but I don't see AJ moving. And Deontay staying. Terry probably staying. We'll see.
He's also on record saying he hates the Commander's name. I doubt he likes the way the franchise is handling everything else.
Who wouldn't want to catch balls with Carson Wentz, right?
Listen, I'm going to move right along because it looks like that sunburn is starting to wink at me. I'm getting a little uncomfortable. I might have to sue you and your sunburn for sexual harassment. So I'm going to move on before you go ahead and catch a charge. It is time for our most famed off-season segment. That is, of course, the 2022-2023 NFL offseason preview of the NFC South. We have the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and, of course, the New Orleans with famous Jameis, because I just got to include him in there, New Orleans famous Jameis Saints. Nude, NFC South. Let's do it like we did last year. We'll go ahead.
I actually was going to bring a new format if you want to do it.
Propose.
So I was going to just run down my 4, and then you give me your 4, and then we'll see where we differ.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Because I think we know who one is. I think we both have the same one.
Do we?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, yeah, fucking obviously we have the same one, dude. Okay, go on.
All right. Oh, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got Russell Gage and Tom Brady. Great. Okay, so now here's probably where we're different. Number 2.
Here's your fucking. I already smell it.
You already know
out of the water. We've been doing this for 3 years now. Here's hold my nuts on the fucking table. Pride of balls team. Go ahead, give it to us. Who's your long shot?
Panthers.
I knew it. I just knew it. I knew it. You're like,
Carolina
Ben
Panthers.
McAdoo is the new
All
OC,
right, number 3.
saying that Sam Darnold's going to be the starting
Number
coach, and then
3. Hold
backs
on, hold
and then
on, hold on.
backs off
No.
immediately on
Number
it after
3.
he gets in trouble with the PR team.
Basically, number 3, the New Orleans Saints, and number 4, the Falcons. Okay, so let me just let's just. Do you want me to explain, or do you want to your 4, or do you want me to explain why I have these 4 where they are?
I want you to. I need an explanation. So
Okay,
yes.
so Buccaneers, you don't need no explanation. The biggest thing, Tom Brady came back. Bruce Arians went to the front office. Their new coach is going to be their defensive coach, Robert Moore.
At end of explanations too, I say give records. We always like to give the records.
They're going to be 12 and 5 win team. They're definitely going to run away with this division. Defense got basically everybody back. Leonard Fournette came back. They added Russell Gage to take that AB spot. So I'm not going to go too much into them. They're going to win the division handily. Now, the reason why I said the Carolina Panthers, Kenny Pickett's going to be the quarterback for this team. I think they're going to win 7 games. I think Matt Rule, who we both like,
they're going to the playoffs at 7 and 10.
They're not going to the playoffs. I have 3 other teams. I'm just saying it's a team to be kind of reckoned with DJ Moore, who I absolutely adore. CMC, if he stays healthy, always works. And their defense is still pretty good. I mean, don't forget Jeremy Chin, who missed most of the season, was an all-pro, kind of like an all-pro safety in the works. So don't forget him. They have Burns, who's a great pass rusher. They have a bunch of pieces on that defense where they can stay in games. Let me just finish, please.
I just want to say this is a sigh of relief because I was so sure. Part of me was a little worried you're going to say, this is the rise, ladies and gentlemen, of PJ Walker.
No, PJ Walker, even though as much as I want him to be a thing, it's got to be Kenny Pickett in a fucking Carolina Panther uniform. He might be better than Sam Darnold. They'll be on a trajectory. They have 7 wins, so I'll give them 7 wins.
Okay.
Orleans 6 wins because of Jameis. I don't know what he's gonna do. This whole Alvin Kamara thing.
Bro, you don't get quarterbacks. That's your problem.
Alvin Kamara.
You don't understand the quarterback.
He might be traded by the deadline at this point. Michael Thomas, Clint King. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him. The defense didn't really get better. They lost Marquise Williams to the Ravens. They still have Cam Jordan. They still have more Lattimore.
And then Baltimore Ravens are gearing up, huh?
I guess to go like 6 and fucking 11 because the Browns and the Bengals are going to win that division again.
I'm sorry, you said 15 and 2. You're right. I say 15 and 2 probably. 14-3 at worst.
AFC North later. Relax. We're talking about the South right now.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, we chose the divisions that are least interesting to us first. No offense to the NFC South fans, and then we're kind of going from there. So don't.
Because we already know who's gonna win it. Like I think the Bucks are minus like 300 at this point to win the division, and
it should be minus 10.
The Falcons. Nobody knows who's at running back. Nobody knows who's gonna be wide receiver. Marcus Mariota is their quarterback.
Classic face of the franchise bit, dude. We're suiting up. We're suiting up.
Classic. I could name maybe 3 good players on the fucking Falcons. AJ Terrell.
Come on.
Fucking defensive. Cordell Patterson.
I got their roster right here.
Kyle Pitts. I mean, there you go. There's 3. I did my best.
Give me 2 more. Give me 2 more.
3. Okay, you want 2
Give
more?
me 5.
I said Marcus Mariota.
Okay. So you got 1 more.
Didn't they sign a running back?
Who's their backup quarterback?
Backup quarterback
from Arkansas.
Oh no, it's not Ryan Mallett, is it?
No.
Okay, from Arkansas.
Yep. Was a rookie last year. There's no way you get.
Oh my! No. Arkansas. No, Florida. You fucked me up with the Arkansas. It's the Florida. He's Florida.
Felipe Franks is from Arkansas.
He went to Florida.
Felipe Franks went to Arkansas.
Oh my God! I'll Google it. Here.
I'm Googling. You sack of shit.
He might have.
How do you not know what school Felipe Franks went to?
Felipe Franks.
Both Florida. He played at both Florida and Arkansas.
See, this transfer portal thing is so stupid. Like, I don't understand. Like, I know him from Florida, not from fucking Arkansas. That's so stupid.
I knew what time you were on, too, and I couldn't resist.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't resist.
Career stats, by the way. 6 rush yards, zero passing yards, TD to interception ratio 0-1, one interception. Great, good job, Felipe Franks, everyone. Four win team. Probably the first pick next year, and they'll probably pick C.J. Stroud. There you go.
Again, you don't understand elite quarterbacks clearly. Like, we would take him. We'll give Terry away in a
Go ahead.
heartbeat for Felipe Franks.
Go ahead with your 4.
My 4. Obviously, yes, I'm not going to go into it whatsoever. Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this division by a landslide. I'd say by at least 5 games ahead of everybody else. I got them at I'm going to go ahead and say this is an 11 to 13 win team. They're going to do what they do. We're still waiting on a couple pieces to come in, but I don't think it matters either way. Tom Brady's going to continue what he does. And especially without Bruce Arians controlling his way of things, I think he's a free man now. With that being, there's clearly tension there, dude. With that being said, next up, I think this is gonna. I think this. I'm kind of standard, unfortunately, with this division, dude. I think it's gotta go ahead and be Saints. I'm a big Jameis guy. You know this. I think this team, if they can just stay consistent and stay together, I think this is a legitimate team to be threatened with. I understand we got a new head coach in the building, and Mr. Dennis Allen. I think this is a team that can pull off 10 wins and get into a wild card spot, or do what they did last year at that 9-8. They don't change too much, but this team is a gritty team. That defense knows how to smack people around. They know how to win. In terms of picks this year, I mean, they've got a decent amount of picks. They got a round 1 from Philly, got round 2, round 3. They have all the rounds covered to go. They don't have any double rounds.
They could get Willis or Pickett. They could get Willis or Pickett with those picks, by the way. So.
I definitely don't see my boy Willis dropping as far as where I just had their spot as 16. I just don't see that.
I meant to say apparently there's like this draft value board that if they trade both picks to get to where they need to be, they draft Pickett or Willis, they could. Just saying, or they could just get a wide receiver or defensive player. I don't fucking know. I don't know anymore.
Knowing this team, I think they go get another splashy wide receiver, and then they go get a defensive player at 19. They have 16 and 19 in the first round. I think they go ahead but one more, but I don't see this potentially. This is not a type of team to go after like Malik Willis. I just don't see it. We'll see what happens. And then I go ahead, and I do have your Carolina Panthers. I'm with you with what their record could be. I don't think this division is going to be as bad as you seem to think. I think this is a 7-10 Carolina Panther team, so we're around the same page there. I'm obviously still a big Matt Rule guy. If CMC can stay healthy, yes, but I think that's their biggest concern besides that quarterback question and whatever the hell Ben McAdoo is going to try to do with that offense. But besides all that, I'm with you, and this is why I smelled it coming out of there, because this is, I think, this is one of those teams that could potentially, we like to try and call it every year. I think we've called a couple in the past. I called my Dolphins when they flipped and made a playoff run 2 years ago. We call these flip around teams. There's at least 3 or 4 every single year. I will say this team does have the potential to be that flip around team. Now, the dumpster fire in Shitsville, right next to Cuckland in Atlanta, I think this is a less than 5-win team. I'm here with you. I think this is an embarrassment, and they continue and will continue to unravel as a franchise and a business, as an institute in Atlanta from that 28-3 comeback. I don't think they ever come back as a franchise. I think they are now at the bottom dollar franchises going forward for the rest of eternity. Yes, I still think they are broke up with that girl. They had the girl. She was in bed, and we all know what happened right after that. Smacked the Falcons in the face and said, no, I'm going to go with the old-time gal, or my old-time man with the Pats. This team, again, I mean, it is abysmal. We don't even know. Calvin Ridley's not even playing at this point next year. They picked up on him Tate. That was nice to see, I guess. I mean, besides that, defense is can you name 3 players on defense, dude?
For what, the Falcons?
Yes.
I just named one of them, AJ Terrell.
So, okay, you have 2 left. There is one that I think you should get.
Is his name Garrett? It's not. I don't think I'm saying it right.
You're close.
Jared.
Brady Jared.
Brady Jared. And then
come on. One of their linebackers. You got one of their linebackers for sure.
Oh, is that Anzalone or whatever the fuck guy there?
Angelo.
Anzalone.
I don't see him on the roster. No, he's not on the roster anymore.
All right, what's the linebacker you think I should know?
I think you should definitely know either Rashad Smith or Rashawn Evans.
Oh, they just signed Rashard Evans. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They just signed him. Right.
Besides that, literally, we have joked, we've done our ha-ha-ha-ha-has, but their biggest signing this offseason was re-signing Yo-Hung Koo for one of the highest paid kickers of all time. When I say we could suit up, we could 1,000% suit up for this team. That is no bit. We always do that as a hee-hee, ha-ha, ho-ho, shits and shenanigans. We could play for this team. I don't know what they're doing. I think the only teams that may be worse just off the top is, your standard Texans, Jags, and unfortunately the team with the devil that is owned by, or the team that, excuse me.
They have the Vampire King himself, Tom Brady. So at the end of the day, congratulations to NFC South. You are now Tom Brady.
Yeah, congratulations. We covered you. We talked about you. You're welcome.
Next time we'll probably do the AFC. Let's just do the AFC South because we already know that's going to be something out of this world. Oh. Breaking news: Saints hosting Jarvis Landry tomorrow. Everything goes well, he might sign there. So that might be on next
news of the offseason.
So
Jarvis
there you
Landry going to the Saints.
Well, guys, thank you for rocking with us here at the Face of the Franchise.
Wait. Draft show with our new draft insider Keith.
Dropping out Friday.
Right? Yep.
Friday. Dropping Friday. We record Thursday. We're recording now Tuesday. This is our Wednesday. That's how it works.
Look at you giving the behind the scenes, Betty.
There's behind the pod right there. But thank you for rocking with us here at Faces of Franchise. We like to thank our sponsors, Stuck Up Clothing, finest fashion money combined. We are in collaboration of getting new merch with them. Yep. They are getting new merch with themselves. Go on IG, Facebook, Twitter. Go on their newly made page. Where you can find all their new lines, their new stuff, request stuff. Get it while they're hot.
Summer collection is out. Get it while you can. Get it before it's gone.
While you can. Eyesight Eyewear, mobile eyewear company. That is Eyesight with an eye. The mobile eyewear company that comes to you. Get your prescription glasses, sunglasses, contacts. Go on IG, follow them on their page. We tag all our sponsors as well as suggestions by Jax. She's booking up fast. She puts it on her IG story all the time. She blocks out the dates where she's booked solid. So get in there on IG, follow her, get what you need. And this episode,
part of having that summer body, guys and gals, is making sure you're trimmed, you're groomed, you're looking right, you're looking tight. Jax is going to get you squared off with that.
Absolutely. And this episode is brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Smooth My Balls. Get your balls smooth. That's all you need to know. Use the promo code 4CR20 to get your money off your next purchase. That is the number 4 CR, the number 20. And this, what?
Just saying, I know you're a huge fan. We've talked about it a whole bunch. So I know you've got to take for us before we go. The people have been dying, asking us on Twitter, asking us on all the socials. They need to know. They must know. Season finale, a snowfall on tomorrow. I know you're a huge fan. It's all you talk about. Go ahead and hit the people. What's going to happen? What's going to go down? Is Franklin going to get revenge on Louie? Is Jam and Jerome, our boy, is Unc going to go ahead and make it through all of this? What's going to happen to Leon?
Well, before we do this, let's just do outros. Stay breezy, stay easy. So I think what's going to happen is, I think Jerome is going to,